Hey Waffle Gang, I do hope you are well. My name is Mark and today we're checking out some more Reddit stories, and if you do love a Reddit story, why not consider hitting that like, subscribe, maybe that notification bell too, and let's crack on with today's first story. Much love, guys. Now today we're going to be looking at the OhNoConsequences subreddit, where people are surprised by the consequences of their own actions, and we're starting with a story from a throwaway account saying, "Am I the arsehole if I, 28 male, told my mum, 49 female, I wasn't sure about inviting her and a new family to the wedding due to the past? My dad passed away when I was 5 years old. It shouldn't come as a surprise that I was really close with my mother after him passing away. We were each other's close friend. My mum rarely went on dates, even though I asked her to, so it was just me and her. After high school, I was working at my security job while living at home. One day I come home to my mum being involved with a guy. Let's call him Jack, that seemed to be around my age. I officially met him a week later. He was revealed to be 22. I was 21 at the time, and apparently him and my mum were in a year-long relationship already. They were in the same MBA program. My mum and I were just practically roommates after that. She seemed too distant for the past year, which seemed to make sense why, but our relationship even further deteriorated. I'll admit, I was overly reliant on my mother emotionally and financially, but both of them seemed to treat me like a hindrance that they needed to overcome. My mum would barely make any time with me, even though I lived with her. Jack seemed to look down on me due to my profession and the fact that I was living with my mum. The wedding happened a year later. I only went out of respect for my mum, even though Jack and his loved ones treated me like a pariah. I moved out a month after their honeymoon. I rented a room with my mum, helping with expenses here and there. And I assume it's mum, got pregnant at 44 years old with twins. I tried as often as I could, but Jack watched me like a hawk. I overheard them talking about doing things right this time. I wanted to talk about how I feel about Jack with my mother. It was a bad idea because she dismissed how I felt and said she would always side with him due to him being her husband. After that argument, we didn't talk for about 5 weeks. I got a call about how she misses me and hoped I would get over it. I decided to distance myself from my mum and improve my life. This time my mother was the one calling once a week to talk to me. I was short but cordial. I rarely called, but only on occasions. I eventually went back to school and got a degree in computer science. I landed a nice well-paying job 2 years ago. A week ago, I proposed to my fiancée. My mother asked if she could come visit us with her family. I said yes. She seemed super excited for me and asked me about when and where is the wedding. I told her it's in Hawaii. She joked about never going to a wedding before with tikis. I decided to be upfront with her, but I wasn't sure if I'm going to invite her and her family. She was in shock and asked why. I told her it would be a happy day for me, and I don't want her and her family to come as I have issues with them, and they would be a constant reminder of that. She said, okay, and then sobbed in a way they have never seen before. Jack found her crying and got out of there with the kids. A couple of days later, I got a couple of relatives calling me an ungrateful son who doesn't care about his mother. Am I the arsehole? Ouch. Your mum pretty much just emotionally abandoned you when you needed her the most. Sure, I know people will say, he's 21, but that's a young adult who's probably trying to find their feet. And the sudden distance, the comment about doing things right this time, ouch. Then telling you she'd always side with her husband over you. Come on now. But for OP, they've clearly distanced themselves, they've improved their life, got a degree and seems to have landed a good job. They're thriving. And as the subreddit says, she's just facing the consequences of her choices now. That she might miss one of the biggest moments in OP's life. And quite frankly, you're not obligated to invite anyone to your wedding who's going to make you unhappy. That's yours and your partner's day, and you want to protect that as much as you can. But a commenter says to OP, I fail to see how any of this is a surprise to your mother or an arsehat of a sonspund. When they were discussing within earshot of you about getting it right this time, implying that she got it wrong with you, not the arsehole. Not as Synth says, not the arsehole at all. A wedding is a time to celebrate you and your partner's life with whoever you want there. If you want your mum there, invite her without any option for a +1, and she can choose to come or not. If you don't want her there, don't extend an invitation. You have a very justifiable reason for not wanting her or a new husband there. Not that I'm of the opinion you even need any reason. You don't need people like that dragging you down on a joyous occasion. As long as you're okay with a potential fallout, she might stop talking to you entirely for a long time, and it's completely fine. And if you're not okay with that as a potential outcome, again, extend an invite to her and her alone as a compromise. If she turns up her nose, that's her problem. You tried. Congrats on the engagement. Wishing you a wonderful wedding. Disney Addict says not the arsehole, but your mother and her no good toxic husband are. Don't let them take advantage of you. With the way they acted and treated you before, they may have an ulterior motive. Does your mum know you went to school and have a better paying job now? They may want a free vacation and eventually money from you. Protect yourself and your fiancé. Hopefully I'm wrong about that, but either way, your wedding is about you and your future wife. You should only have people there who love and support you. Congratulations and wishing you all the best. 30 Ninja says not the arsehole. She never cried when she said she would choose her husband over you. She never cried when his family treated you like shit at her wedding. Let her cry for the consequences of her own actions and allowing his and his family's complete disrespect. Tell her you will choose your own future wife and happiness over her any day, just like she taught you. And one more commenter says not the arsehole. Frankly, I think your mother is a really disgusting person to be getting with someone who is only a year older than you. You sound like you're describing a very emotionally incestuous between yourself and your mother even before her husband came into the picture. I really don't think it's a coincidence that your mother got with someone who is nearly exactly your age. I wouldn't be able to look at my mother in the face again if she got with someone my age. All I would be able to think about is if she had weird thoughts about me and was trying to use a patsy as a replacement for any weird fantasy she might have. Sorry if this sounds insanely harsh. I just really feel for your situation and hope you can figure it out. What do you guys make of this situation? Let us know your thoughts down in the comments below. Let's move on to another story. Now our next story comes from Am I the Arsehole Stepson Prob, who says, am I the arsehole for cancelling my stepson's birthday because he facepalmed me? And there is an update to this one as well. I married my husband 2 years ago, and my relationship with my stepson 12 has never been well. We tried everything, but nothing seems to work. His behavior towards me is so terrible. He shouts at me, swears at me, and calls me worst mother ever. His 13th birthday is tomorrow, and since my daughter, 7th female birthday is only 10 days apart, we usually celebrate them both in the same day. They are fine with it. I ask my stepson who he has invited, and that's when he facepalms, gesture, and tells me that he's already answered this question before in the worst tone ever. This is where I lost it, and told him that because of his attitude, I'm going to cancel his birthday tomorrow. At first, he didn't believe me, since it's not the first time I intended to punish him without actually doing it in the end. But this time, I was serious, and to prove it to him, I called his grandparents and told him his birthday got cancelled. He started crying, begging me not to cancel, but I told him it's too late. I got berated by his grandparents because of this, and told me that I don't have the rights to cancel his birthday. As his mother, I'm pretty sure I can do what I want though, but they weren't listening to me. They even told me that tomorrow they're coming to his birthday with gifts, even after I told them not to bother because I won't open the door. Am I the arsehole here? And then someone gave OP a facepalm award, and they said, edit, facepalm award? Really? So, as you know, we're in the Consequences subreddit, and OP was overwhelmingly voted you're the arsehole in the situation. Someone said to OP, I'm being a jerk to a child, am I the arsehole? And then says, you're the arsehole. OP replied saying, this is not my intention at all. I just want him to start respecting me. The Pink Prioress says, how long have you been in his life? Where is his father? Where is his biological mother? Does he see you as a mum? Because it seems he doesn't. But he should respect you as a parental figure. You played soft with him all this time, but most importantly, where is the boy's father? He should be disciplining the child. OP responded, quoting how long you've been in his life, and OP said, I've been in his life for 3 years, although the first year I wasn't spending so much time with him. Quoting where is the father, and says he's a doctor, had to go to another city for a month. quoting where is the biological mother, and says she's mentally unstable and did not see her child for almost a year now. Quoting again, does he see you as a mum? And then says, by the way he's acting, no, unfortunately he does not. Opie also said, I'm really hurt from what you just said. You know nothing about me. His father is away most of the time, and I'm the one taking care of him. I spend more time with his son than both his father and biological mother combined, yet you dare tell me that I'm a pathetic excuse of a mother. Shame on you. Edit. The fact that people are agreeing with what you just said is honestly so sad. You guys really think you know all of our life story based on this post I made? You are free to judge me, as I have made this post for that, but stop assuming things you don't know. Another commenter says, replying to OP, shame on me. You cancelled his birthday party because you couldn't remember the names. You cancelled his party because of something you did. Cancelling his party is a horrible overreaction. That poor kid told you the names. Why didn't you remember them? If you're such a great mother as you call yourself, why couldn't you remember a couple of names? If you wanted to punish him for simply facepalming, that's already bad enough, but cancelling the whole birthday party? Shame on you. I wonder if you would have reacted the same if your daughter facepalmed. I think not. Opie says, if she was also disrespectful before, then yes, I would. I didn't punish my son only for the facepalm. Despite knowing him for only 3 years, believe it or not, I love them both equally as much. The commenter replies again saying, also your comment, as his mum I can do whatever I want, and says yes you can, but don't be surprised if he cuts contact at 18. Opie says, have you read my post? Honestly now, as I've clearly stated how he's been terrible with me for 2 years straight. Miss Scribble says, info. What did his dad say when you told him you made this decision? Opie says, he just called me not too long ago and is against it. His birthday party will most likely not get cancelled anymore after the arguments I had with him and my son's grandparents and the lack of the not the arsehole / no one's an arsehole here comments here. But it might have been postponed due to me not arranging things on time and other issues. I will still take his presents as punishment and give them back to him once he behaves, and hopefully I'm taking the right actions with this. Commenter replies to that saying, you're really bad at parenting. Opie says, I only started parenting him 2 years ago. Until then I was parenting my daughter, who still respects me and is overall an adorable little girl. I don't think I was the one that failed here. Edit. Alright, I had enough. Starting from now, offensive awards are going to be hidden. So as said, OP did come in with an update and says a lot of you have DM'd me for an update since things are getting better between me and my son. So I decided I'd let you know how things are going. And then shares the original link. Since many of you have called me an arsehole, and after the conversation I had with my husband and his parents, I realized that I did indeed overreact and I shouldn't have made such a harsh punishment. Some of you suggested if his attitude persists, I should find other ways to punish him, like not allowing him on the laptop, let him do some housework, etc. And I will start doing these sort of punishments if needed. Unfortunately, due to me not contacting his friends on time, his birthday party still didn't happen on his birthday. It was postponed 2 days later. But my daughter still got to celebrate her birthday on that day. My son was obviously really upset, and in the morning he came to me and was on the verge of crying, asking me if I did actually cancel his birthday party. I told him that unfortunately his friends already made plans, but if he behaves, I'll still do his birthday after 2 days. Surprisingly, he was really polite with me these days, probably because he really wanted his birthday party. But I'm really happy to see that he has stopped raising his voice at me and stopped with his rude gestures such as facepalming. His grandparents were also really upset on me, and they ended up arranging the party for him instead, as they said I'm too irresponsible. Both birthday parties ended up being successful, and until now I still haven't had any severe arguments with him. I'm really happy with the way things are going. Thank you to everyone who sent me DMs to support me and provide me tips, especially the stepmothers who are going through similar problems. Edit. I'm extremely disappointed in the way things are turning out in the comments. I wrote this update post because you guys were interested in seeing how things came out to be in the end. I was more than happy to update you guys. And this is the respect I'm getting back. When writing your comments, please take a moment to think before clicking on that submit button, or else I will no longer be interacting with this thread. Edit 2. Alright, I can't anymore. This is just too much for me to handle. We'll come back in an hour or two. You guys clearly don't know how to act civil, and I wouldn't be surprised if this thread gets locked soon. Edit 3, and this is in all caps by the way. Screw you to the anonymous user who just awarded me, wishing that me and my daughter die. Oof. I get that you still think I'm the arsehole here, but this is not a competition on which one of us can be the bigger one. You should be ashamed of yourself. So some people were replying to OP below this. The first one says, you're the arsehole. I can imagine that being a step-parent to a preteen is a really big challenge, but from what I've read in your previous post, in this one, your focus seems to be on punishing this child into behaving, without caring to understand where the behavior is coming from. This boy does not need punitive punishment. He needs you to listen and connect with him. Do some reading, listen to some podcasts, change your perspective. Opie says, I'm aware where this behavior is coming from, and I can sort of understand him. Unfortunately, he gets little time and attention from his biological mother and father, and this obviously affects him emotionally. I've already told my husband this. I'm trying my best to be a mother for him, but it's just so difficult with the little support I have from my husband and his parents. Miss Illusion says you're the arsehole. I really don't think you're understanding what everyone is trying to tell you. This kid hasn't seen his mother in a year now, and his father has left him behind with a virtual stranger for a month. This kid is hurting and probably feels abandoned, and he's taking it out on the one person he can. Guess what? All kids do this to their safe person. Apparently he thought that was you, and turns out he was wrong, as you showed him you were definitely not understanding or compassionate. He had an emotive reaction to a comment and you blew it out of proportion. He probably wouldn't feel safe to be himself around you and will be fearful of your reaction. You shouldn't be parenting in fear. This kid needs kindness and understanding. I find it surprising that you managed to pull off your daughter's party but were unable to do the same for him. God, what a mess. I'd seriously consider ensuring he has a counselor to talk to. Parenting is about being the safe place for your kid. They will say shitty things to you. It's your job to be patient and kind, yet set boundaries over their emotions, still understanding that their frontal brain is shut down and they cannot control these outbursts at times. OP quotes saying his father left him behind with a virtual stranger for a month and then says, I'm sorry, what? His father left him with me. Skullbearer says, Jesus Christ, the brains on this one. OP replies saying, alright, I've had enough of you. You have been replying rudely to every single comment of mine. I'm blocking you, as it's obvious that we two cannot have any civil conversation. JC says, can't wait for the 5-year update post, where the stepson has completely cut you out of his life. And you're surprised you're not allowed anywhere near him. OP says, I know you're being ironic, but you guys can beg me all you want because I will never be posting another update because of the way things are going. I was kind of side-eyeing this from the beginning when she was saying, you know, he doesn't mind having his party with his stepsister. I was kind of like, really? And I honestly, like with all stories with kids in it, I just feel for that kid because I do wonder what's going through his mind. I mean, it sounds like his father's absent. His mother was mentally unstable and did not see her for a while. You know, well, did not see him for almost a year now. So that must be like awful for him at the same time as well. But what do you guys make of this situation? Let us know your thoughts down in the comments below. Let's move on to another story. Now our next story comes from TequilaShotsAtWork. And it says, am I the arsehole for ordering tequila shots for my work colleagues at Friday lunchtime? Oh, bloody hell. I, 26 male, work in a busy lab, medical diagnostics. And every Friday we go as a team, 6 to 7 people, to a local sports bar to have a team building lunch on the boss's company card. Yesterday our boss was swamped with deadlines but said the rest of us could go anyway, as long as we paid for any alcoholic drinks ourselves. Usually the boss plus 1 to 2 other people will order a small beer with their lunch, so I've consumed alcohol on the clock before in this job. I was even thinking that without the boss there, I might order a big beer this time. When we arrived though, me and my work bro, 25 male, were drawn to a new offer the bar had on tequila shots, 5 for $10. In our defense, we had just had a very stressful morning, so we proposed to the team that we buy a single round of shots to commemorate it. A couple of our colleagues were a little reluctant, but after a little convincing, we were soon toasting to a morning of hard work. That's when my work bro proposed we order a second round of shots. I have a pretty high tolerance for alcohol, so it was no problem with me. I knew for a fact we have a couple of lightweight colleagues. For example, a diminutive Asian lady who rarely drinks, 23 female, but we still managed to convince the rest of the table to drink with us a second time. After that, the 2 females with us tapped out, but the 3 remaining guys, myself included, decided to split 10 further tequila shots. In our defense, as far as team building goes, the outing was a roaring success. I think I learned more about my colleagues in those 1.5 hours than I have in the last 2 years. Unfortunately, when we got back to the office, our boss could smell the tequila on my breath. My work bro very stupidly decided to be honest and told him that some of us had 5+ shots of alcohol at lunch. My boss's face turned bright fucking red, and he told us all to go home immediately and that it wasn't safe for us to be working in a lab while inebriated. I calmly explained to him that I in fact still felt very sober. I have a high tolerance, remember, but he wasn't having it. I'm genuinely worried what's going to happen on Monday morning. The 2 female colleagues called me and my work bro arseholes for taking it too far and getting everyone in trouble. I see their point of view, but on the other hand, we did have a really good time while at the bar. Help us out, Reddit. Who is the arsehole here? So the first commenter says to OP, "You're the arsehole. I'm pretty sure being inebriated while working in a medical diagnostic lab is a felony. You should be thankful you weren't fired." Pinebox Waiting says, "You're the arsehole. 5 shots over 1.5 hours and returning to work in a medical lab? Rat days are over, bro." Multiverse Wanderer says, "God, I can't even imagine wanting to take 5 shots fully knowing I had to go back to the office. I would have been absolutely sloshed taking 5 shots in general, even if it was on a weekend night out with friends." Resting Beauty says, "You're the arsehole and the way you describe your other co-workers is gross. Females, diminutive Asian, and work bro. You need to grow up." Throwaway says, "You're the arsehole. Expect to be fired on Monday." So, OP got his update 2 days later, and it says, "Well, I'm sure a lot of you'll be happy to know that me and my out of work bro got fired this morning. HR asked us why exactly we thought we could drink 6 tequila shots and then go back to the lab. What we could think of was that in college we used to work hard and play hard, and it didn't affect our grades." They didn't like that excuse. Anyway, we were offered a plea bargain. HR accepted our resignations and promised a passing but not glowing reference for our future employers, on the condition we don't mention what happened to anyone ever again. I want to thank all those who commented on the original thread. I now accepted that me and my work bro made a grievous error of judgment. We're not alcoholics, as some people suggested, but we're not in college anymore either. Personally, I'll be laying off the hard liquor for a while to focus on rebuilding my career in medical diagnostics. And in the future, if someone offers me a shot while I'm on the clock, I will say, no, thank you. What was that excuse with HR when they asked you what's going on and you came up, work hard, play hard? I mean, what did you think that'd actually work? But what do you guys make of this situation? Let us know your thoughts down in the comments below, and let's move on to another story. Now, our next story is titled, "Am I the arsehole here for asking my dad why I should reward his cheating and breaking up our family when he told me I shouldn't punish him for being happy?" A couple of years ago, my dad told my mum he wanted a divorce and went on to be with his high school crush. It was a total surprise to mum. Me, 19 male, and my siblings, 15 female, 13 female, and 10 male. Dad said he never cheated, but when he reconnected with this woman, all the feelings he had before came back, and he wanted his chance with her since she was the one he missed out on back then. He even admitted he never got over her and always knew he'd leave if he got his chance with her. I've wanted nothing to do with him since, and my siblings feel similarly. Only they get no choice since he has equal custody as mum. They make life awful for him and for his girlfriend though, and all 3 hope he stops making them socialize with them soon. Since he left mum, he has tried with me too. He invited me for family dinners and tried to set up a time for me to meet his girlfriend and for us to figure out a way forward. The only time I responded was to that last part, and I told him the only way forward was no contact. The only time I've seen Dad in the past 2 years was at Mum's house for my brother's 10th birthday. He got there early so he could talk to me. He told me he thought it was time I stopped punishing him and that I shouldn't punish him in the first place when he did something to make him happy and it had no impact on him. I asked him how he figured that when he broke up our family and cheated, and it had no impact on him. I'm assuming it means OP, so impact on me. I said it was still emotional cheating when he was ready to leave Mum if that woman snapped her fingers. My dad emphasized the fact that he never cheated, and he told me it was nothing to do with me anyway. I told him it has everything to do with me when it changed my family and interrupted my life. I asked him why I should reward those things and why I'd want his kind of influence in my life. I told him I didn't give a fuck about his happiness or that woman he's with, and he was out of luck if he thinks he will ever get my seal of approval or get me to spend time with him and her. Dad said my mindset was all wrong and us having a relationship doesn't reward him. It's good for me and could add another woman in my life who'd be supportive and compassionate when I need it. He said it's what me and my siblings miss out on by rejecting his girlfriend and future wife. He also called me an arsehole for framing things in the worst possible light and for even thinking about this as rewarding versus not. I had to walk away because he was ready to keep going and I didn't want it to spill into my brother's party. Am I the arsehole here? What a bloody cheeky Berg. Your dad pretty much admitted he never got over his high school crush and was always ready to bail if she did become available. That's just years of emotional betrayal towards your mum, where she was, and this is going to sound brutal, a placeholder. And what he's saying, where he's calling what you're doing to him is punishment, is, again, it's just consequences, like the subreddit. You're not punishing him, you're just protecting yourself from someone who's proved, he will step over everyone else to make himself happy. And he's trying to twist everything around by saying, his girlfriend as another supportive woman. I mean, come on. He is dense. But Medical Mountain says the fact he has zero remorse for 1, using a woman for several years, wasting her life when she could have been with someone who actually loved her. 2, having several children with her knowing he'd leave her and them, shows what kind of person he is. I don't associate with people like this. I don't blame you or your siblings for not wanting to put up with this self-absorbed piece of shit. Opie says over 20 years of her life he wasted. She loved him and committed to him, and he never did it back. He was just waiting for that woman to come back so he could be with her. Doc replies saying, I'm turning 40 this year, and my dad pulled a similar stunt when I was 17. Left us out of nowhere. Started a new family and had 2 kids with his new wife. He never understood that this rocked our world. Us 3 were miserable for years. Money was tight and there were repeated downward spirals we had to fight our way through. I'm telling you this as context for this. It all made my mum, my brother and me, plus my mum's side of the family, much closer. Your mum didn't waste 20 years. You and your siblings are there. My brother and I are the greatest thing that happened to her, period. And I'm not saying this because I'm such a swell dude. I'm saying this because I have a 2-year-old myself and I now understand what she means by it. You'll get through this as a family. And fuck your dad for being a self-centered arsehole whose empathy doesn't even go as far enough to understand that this affects the people he's supposed to care for unconditionally. His kids. Take good care of your mum and siblings, my friend. Mila says, oh my god, he actually said you're missing out by rejecting his girlfriend. How far did he have to twist himself to get that far up his own butt for that viewpoint? What about your father missing out on his children because he can't think with anything but his dick? Not the arsehole. Opie says he believes that too. He never expected us to be mad or hurt by his choices, and he truly believed everything would be perfect for him. Everyone else's feelings were unimportant or just supposed to be like his. And another commenter says your dad taught you that loved ones are replaceable. You now understandably want to replace him with someone who shares your values that family means something. Not the arsehole. He's a hypocrite and an arsehole. You now know that he regards family as disposable whenever it's convenient. It's sensible that you and your siblings don't invest in his conditional love. You could spend your life sucking up to him and still throw you aside the moment it's convenient. He fucked around and found out. And one more comment from Efficient Society 73 who says not the arsehole. He only sees it as punishment because you won't give him what he wants. your approval of his decision. That isn't punishing him. You're simply holding him accountable for how his actions affected you and the people you care about. Your dad sounds like a selfish bastard. He chose your mum and by extension your family because he couldn't have the woman he truly wanted. And she's not better if she's okay being with a man who will walk away from his entire life to be with her. When she eventually gets tired of his whining about how his family hates him, she'll walk away. Or she'll get older and less attractive and he'll find a new shiny toy. Either way, he's made his bed, it's his turn to deal with that. It's just absolute madness that this guy can do this to his family and still try and turn it around on them, not feel guilty for what he's done, but call OP an arsehole for not wanting to be a part of it at all. After OP seen all of this go down and likely his mum's upset because of all this. It's madness. But what do you guys make of this situation? Let us know your thoughts down in the comments below. Now, just a huge thank you for being here today, getting involved in the stories, your love, your support, your time. It always means the absolute world to me. So thank you so much for being here. Truly is absolutely amazing. And hopefully I'll see you in the next one. Take care and much love.
Yeah, man, I remember being so naive when life was good, weather and palm trees. Back in the day, you were everything I need. But then along came a time when you crushed my dreams. Oh yeah, you played me like a fool when you made me believe that the line between love wasn't thick enough to read. Oh yeah, you see we in despair, crime everywhere. You're selling false hope cause you're